All right, so are you ready for this? Today, we're diving deep.
Ooh, deep dive.
Into one of their most infamous and, let's be honest, mysterious places in America.
I like where this is going.
Alcatraz Island. You know, that former prison?
Yeah.
But you've all been asking for it?
Spooky stuff.
Yeah, closer look at the haunted side of Alcatraz. We've got some really fascinating material to share.
Oh, I'm excited.
We'll be looking at a couple of sources. First,
lay it on me.
Ghosts to Alcatraz Island, California Legends of America.
I say.
And then, is Alcatraz haunted? Unveiling the supernatural tales.
Very descriptive.
These sources give us some of the, well...
spookiest.
Yeah, the spookiest stories around Alcatraz. Are you ready to be creeped out?
Always.
So, before we get to, the ghosts of, the criminals, right?
Yeah, the famous criminals, Al Capone and all them.
Yeah, both of these sources actually go way back.
Like, way, way back.
Like, to Native American legends, even.
Yeah.
And stories from guards and wardens.
And a photo.
Oh, yeah, there's even a photo of a possible ghost.
Creepy.
I know. But let's start at the very beginning.
Okay.
With those Native American legends.
Before the prison even existed?
Before the prison, yeah. So,
well, before European settlers, the Native American tribes who lived in the area,
yeah,
they considered Alcatraz a place to fear, basically.
Uh-huh.
They associated it with evil spirits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they actually used it as a place to banish people.
Like a punishment?
Yeah, like if a member of the tribe broke the rules, they'd get sent there.
Can you imagine, being sent to live on this, desolate island?
Surrounded by ghosts.
Yeah, surrounded by all those stories and spirits.
That's a heavy punishment.
I know, so much psychological weight.
Right, and that feeling, that foreboding, it kind of set the stage for everything that came after.
For sure. So then...
even when it became a federal penitentiary in 1934, that was a big year.
Yeah, and...
all the weird stuff, the stories, that's happening. Oh, yeah. Guards reported all sorts of unexplainable things.
Like what?
Especially near the dungeon. Like sobbing, moaning, even...
metal doors clanging?
Yeah, clanging metal doors, but nobody around.
No explanation.
No.
Were those real or was it just the isolation getting to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's so interesting, how much of it was real.
Right.
And how much was rumors and stuff.
I mean, it would make sense.
Right.
It's such a high pressure environment.
Yeah.
It could really mess with your head.
There's a story that shows that tension that
between what's real and what's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's about Warden Johnston.
The warden?
Yeah. He was really level-headed.
Okay.
Not the type to believe in ghosts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me about his experience.
Okay, so he was leading a tour of the prison, right?
Okay, a tour.
And him and his guests suddenly heard this. Sound of a woman sobbing coming from inside the dungeon walls. And then, to make it even weirder,
there's more.
As soon as the sobbing stopped, this icy wind blew through the group.
Whoa, that would freak me out.
I know, right? Even the biggest skeptic questioned things after that.
I think so.
Sounds like even Warden Johnston couldn't shake it off.
Really?
Yeah, and it wasn't just in the prison itself.
What do you mean?
The warden's house, where the wardens and their families lived.
Yeah.
It had some pretty creepy stories, too.
I bet.
There's one from a Christmas party at Warden Johnston's house.
A Christmas ghost story. I'm listening.
So, this group of guards are having fun, right? Yeah. When suddenly, boom, this ghost appears right in front of them.
What did it look like?
They said it was a man in a gray suit with a brimmed cap and mutton chop sideburns.
Mutton chop sideburns.
I know, right?
Okay.
And then as they watched, the temperature dropped like crazy.
Seriously?
And the fire in the Ben Franklin stove went out.
Whoa. Instantly?
Yeah. And then, less than a minute later...
the ghost disappeared.
Gone. Just like that.
That's crazy. All these sudden temperature drops and ghost stories.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if there's a scientific explanation.
Or if it's our minds, right?
Yeah.
Playing tricks on us.
I mean, heightened fear? Maybe.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It does. So Alcatraz, though, it's full of stories like this.
Oh, yeah.
Full of sensory details, between reality and the supernatural.
Exactly. Take the legend of the Phantom Lighthouse.
Ooh, a phantom lighthouse.
Oh, yeah.
Never heard of that one.
So people say on foggy nights they see this old lighthouse appear out of nowhere.
What?
And there's a whistling sound and this flashing green light.
Whoa.
Circling the island. Then
it disappears.
Poof.
Gone.
That's so weird. Not just sounds and feelings. There are actual apparitions.
Yep.
Wow. And then there are the sounds the guards reported.
Oh, yeah. Phantom cannon fire.
What?
Gunshots.
Seriously?
Even screams.
So real, they thought there was a prison break.
I would lose it.
I know, right?
You mentioned sensory details before. What about, like, smell?
Oh, yeah. There's that, too.
Really?
Guards smelled thick smoke coming from the laundry room.
Like a fire?
Yep, but every time they went to check, nothing.
That is so creepy.
Right.
So it's sights, sounds, and even smells now.
Alcatraz is wild, man.
It really is. So we're just getting started, right? There's like a whole section of the prison.
The most haunted
D block, right?
That's the one.
It housed the most dangerous inmates.
The worst of the worst.
Then the different levels of confinement, right?
Yeah, each one more restrictive. So you had cells with like restricted privileges facing the Golden Gate Bridge.
Cold.
So cold. And then you had the strip cells, aka the hole.
The hole.
The worst punishment. Darkness, isolation, like total deprivation.
That's awful.
And then
the Oriental.
What's the Oriental?
Most extreme of the extreme.
What does that even mean? A dark steel cell, totally empty.
Empty.
No sink, no toilet, nothing. Inmates were put in there naked.
Oh my God.
With just a hole in the floor for waste.
Seriously.
And they got a restricted diet, left in the cold and dark.
Wow. That is intense.
It's easy to see why D Block is so infamous.
Yeah, it's like the worst of humanity all concentrated in one place.
Right.
It makes you think all that suffering, it must have left some kind of like...
energy.
Yeah, like an energetic residue.
It's buried in the walls.
Exactly. Speaking of which, one of the creepiest stories from D Block.
Yeah, what is it?
A ghostly strangler.
No way. Tell me more. So there was this guard, right? Worked there in the 1940s, and he claimed he saw this figure.
A ghost.
Yeah, but dressed in, like, old-timey prison clothes.
From the 1800s?
Yeah, like that, walking around the strip cells. And both the guards and inmates were terrified of it.
Really? Was it just a sighting, or did it, like, do anything?
Well, there's a story about an inmate in the hole started screaming his head off, saying someone with glowing eyes was attacking him.
Oh, no. What did the guards do?
They thought he was faking it.
Oh, no.
Just trying to cause trouble.
What happened?
Next morning, they found him dead. Dead? Face, like, frozen in terror.
Oh, my God.
Handprints around his throat.
You're kidding.
Nope.
So it's like, if everyone believes a place is haunted,
it
kind of becomes true, you know?
Right. Like, our minds can be powerful.
Yeah, for sure. But was it the ghost?
Well, the autopsy said it was strangulation for sure, not self-inflicted.
Whoa. So it really could have been the ghost.
Right. Gives you chills.
Are there, like, other signs that D Block is haunted? Not just stories?
Even today, people who go to Alcatraz report cold spots in D Block.
Really?
Uncomfortable feeling.
Like a presence or something?
Yeah, exactly. And some cells are worse than others.
Like which ones?
Cells 12 and 14D.
What's so special about those cells?
So 14D is way colder than all the others.
How much colder?
Like 20 degrees sometimes.
That's a big difference.
Psychics who visit say they feel, like, emotionally charged impressions there.
Whoa! Like, what does that even mean?
It's hard to explain, but, like, especially in the corners.
Like what corners?
That's where prisoners used to, like, crouch and suffer.
So sad.
Even the park rangers avoid cell 14D.
Really?
Yeah.
They're scared.
Especially alone, yeah.
It's like the suffering is imprinted on the space itself.
Yeah, it's creepy.
What about the authors, Richard Wayner and Nancy Osborne? They wrote about 14D, right?
Oh, yeah, in Haunted Houses, their book.
Yeah, what happened?
So they went into cell 14D with a park ranger, and all three of them felt vibrations.
Vibrations?
Yeah, and tingling sensations in their hands and arms.
Whoa.
Osborne said it was overwhelming.
What was?
The psychic energy there.
You know, that term psychic energy?
Yeah.
It's kind of vague, isn't it? Like, what does it even mean?
Yeah, it's hard to define. It's used a lot in paranormal stuff.
But what is it, really?
Some people say it's like this unseen force connected to thoughts or emotions.
Or even spirits.
Yeah, or spirits. Others say it's more of a feeling.
About a place.
Exactly.
So it's not like something you can measure, it's objective.
Yeah, it's felt, not proven.
Interesting.
It's often connected to places where intense things happened.
Like Alcatraz.
Exactly.
You mentioned cell 12D, too.
Yeah, that one's creepy, too.
What happened there?
There was this ghost hunter, Richard Sennett.
Okay.
He spent the night in cell 12D.
Alone.
With a psychic. They closed the cell door, and boom.
What?
said it felt icy fingers around his neck.
No way.
And at the same time, the psychic started seeing things.
Like what?
Twisted, dismembered bodies.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Right. It makes you wonder if there's something about Alcatraz itself.
The building.
Yeah, that makes it haunted.
It was designed for isolation and punishment.
Yeah.
Maybe that negative energy, it's like...
soaked into the walls.
Yeah, like it's part of the place.
Alcatraz is dark, man. For the inmates and the guards.
It's sad.
Are there other haunted places in Alcatraz?
I mean, probably, right?
Oh, yeah. Cell Block C is super creepy.
What happens there?
Especially this utility passageway.
Okay.
3 convicts were killed there trying to escape in 1946.
That's awful.
People hear clanging noises there all the time.
Really?
But when you open the door, it stops. Silence, close it again.
Just starts up again.
Every time.
Like, doesn't want to be heard.
Maybe. And there are sightings, too.
Oh.
Men in fatigues and disembodied voices.
Whoa. So many sound-related stories.
Yeah.
Do you think it's something about the acoustics of the prison?
Maybe. Or even infrasound.
What's infrasound?
It's like sound below what we can hear.
Okay.
But it can mess with you.
Really?
Make you feel uneasy, even cause hallucinations.
Seriously?
Yeah, and Alcatraz with all the metal and long corridors, maybe it amplifies the infrasound.
Whoa, that's fascinating.
Right.
Any other haunted spots in Cell Block C?
The laundry room.
The laundry room?
Yeah. Sylvia Brown, the psychic, went there.
Okay.
With an ex-convict, Leon Thompson.
Okay, Anish.
Sylvia immediately sensed something.
Like a presence?
A violent one.
Did she say anything else?
Yeah, she described him.
A ghost.
Yeah, she said he was tall, bald head, beady eyes.
Okay.
So Thompson freaked out. He knew exactly who she was talking about.
Who?
Butcher, a hitman who was killed in the laundry room.
No way. Was that true?
They checked the records.
Yep.
Abby Moldovitz, a.k.a. Butcher.
Whoa. So Sylvia really might have sensed him.
Right. It's freaky.
I know. What about other parts of Alcatraz? Are there more haunted areas?
Oh, yeah. Tons. Like the old hospital ward.
Makes sense. Lots of intense stuff happened there.
Exactly. The staff always hear things there.
Like what?
Voices, screams.
Seriously?
Yeah, like the sounds of inmates being restrained.
That's so sad. Okay, but you mentioned Al Capone before.
Ah, yes. Al Capone.
What's the story there?
So Capone was never allowed to have instruments or a radio, right?
Right. He was in prison.
But people hear a banjo playing from his old cell.
A banjo?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Okay.
Did he even play banjo?
Nobody knows. There's no record of it.
That's so weird. Maybe it's another prisoner's ghost?
Could be, but it's still creepy.
Definitely adds to the Alcatraz legend.
Alcatraz was actually on a TV show about the paranormal once.
Really? Which one?
Sightings, back in 1992.
What?
The staff confirmed all the ghost stories, basically.
Like, they experienced it themselves?
Oh, yeah. Noises, footsteps, screams.
Anything else?
Doors closing on their own, feeling watched.
Whoa. Even the people who work there feel it.
Right. They brought in a psychic investigator, too.
Whoa.
Peter James. He said he heard voices of men driven mad.
Oh, no.
And he felt like impressions of abuse, fear, pain.
Wow, like absorbed by the building?
Yeah, it's intense. We were talking about that photo before, remember?
Oh, right, the ghost photo? What was it?
Yeah, a reader sent it in. She took a picture of this old truck at Alcatraz, and she swore no one was in it.
But then what?
Later, looking at the photo, there's a woman in the driver's seat.
Whoa, are you serious? Can you see her clearly?
It's blurry, hard to tell. Could be real, could be just light or something.
Or pareidolia.
What's that?
It's when your brain sees patterns that aren't there.
Oh, like faces and clouds.
Exactly.
Makes sense. But still, it's creepy.
Totally. With so many creepy stories, it's like, is Alcatraz cursed?
That's the question, isn't it?
All those years of suffering,
Yeah.
It must have, left a mark.
Yeah, from the Native Americans to the prisoners.
Do you think cursed places are real?
That's a tough one. Some people believe places hold on to negative energy.
Yeah.
Others think it's all in our heads.
Like, we make it true with our expectations.
Yeah, maybe. Like you hear a noise in an old house at night. Is it the wind or a ghost? It's easy to jump to the spooky conclusion.
Totally. But even if we can't prove curses are real, a place like Alcatraz makes you think twice, you know?
For sure. It's the atmosphere, the stories.
It all adds up.
Thinking back on everything we've discussed,
Yeah.
so many of the stories involve our senses, right?
Sound, smells, cold spots.
Even physical touch.
Like with Richard Sennett.
Yeah, those icy fingers. It's playing on our deepest fears.
And those details make the stories more believable, you know?
Even for skeptics.
Yeah, like Anyone can imagine those things.
Exactly. It goes beyond just seeing a ghost.
It's more visceral.
And those sensory details, that's what paranormal investigators focus on.
Really? I thought they tried to prove ghosts exist.
Well, they do, but they also try to explain things scientifically.
So they look for other reasons for these experiences.
Yeah, like environmental factors.
Interesting.
They use EMF readers, temperature sensors, audio recorders.
To find evidence of something else.
Exactly. It's a more scientific approach.
That's cool. Imagine spending the night in D Block.
Whoa!
With all those stories.
That'll be wild.
Scary, but so cool.
I think I'd be too scared.
Probably. We talked about psychic energy before.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
People have strong opinions about psychics.
Yeah, some are skeptical, others believe.
What do you think?
It's hard to say. Psychic abilities aren't scientifically proven.
Right.
And there are definitely fakes out there.
Yeah, for sure.
But there are also cases of psychics getting things right.
Things they couldn't have known.
Exactly. It's a mystery.
So back to the big question.
The big one.
Is Alcatraz really haunted?
What do you think, after all this?
I don't know. It's tough.
Right.
Part of me wants to believe.
In ghosts.
Yeah, like there's something more out there.
I get it.
But then there's the skeptic in me.
Makes sense.
Looking for a logical explanation.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it?
What is?
The mystery. We still don't know for sure.
And maybe we never will.
Maybe. But that's what keeps people interested.
The unknown.
The possibility of something more.
It's that what if, right?
Exactly. We love a good mystery.
And Alcatraz, with its history, the isolation.
Oh, yes.
It's the perfect setting.
For ghost stories.
Yeah. But even without the ghosts, it's still fascinating.
Totally. The history alone is incredible.
Right. Building a prison on that island.
The engineering.
The notorious criminals.
Capone.
It's all so captivating.
You're right. It makes you feel all kinds of things.
Like what?
Curious, scared, even...
A little bit of wonder.
Yeah, like what really happened there.
And the ghost stories just add to it all.
Whether you believe or not,
yeah.
Alcatraz is just, well...
eerie.
Exactly.
So we covered a lot in this deep dive.
We did.
Native American legends, ghost hunting.
Psychic energy.
It's amazing how much there is to this story.
And people are still fascinated by it.
All over the world.
It's important to keep asking questions, you know?
Yeah. About Alcatraz, about the paranormal.
We might never have all the answers.
Probably not.
But that's what makes it so interesting, right?
It is. Maybe one day we'll figure it all out. But until then, the stories live on.
And the mystery.
I like that. Any final thoughts?
Just this. If the walls of Alcatraz could talk.
Ooh, I like that.
What would they say?
Right. What stories would they tell?
Makes you think.
It does. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It was fun.
Into the mysteries of Alcatraz.
Lots of mysteries.
And to everyone listening.
Yeah.
If you're interested, do some research.
There's so much out there.
You never know what you might find.
Happy hunting.
And thanks for listening.